Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for the introduction. It's pure nostalgia that today I'm again here with Stella Maris College and my teachers and fellow students and their the alumni. It's really wonderful feeling to be back to Stella Maris College. At least in online, I'm able to do this. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Currently, it's been like what 11 years since I passed out of Stella Maris College, and the foundation that the college has given me, the Department of Fine Arts has given me, and the kind of experience that I have gained being in Stella Maris, helped me to uh, carry on and do many more things. And with that, I have been able to start with my own entrepreneurial venture as well, which is on upcycled products. So I have craftspeople working with me in Palakkad, and we make upcycled products from newspaper and fabric scraps. Along with that, my being a fine art person, I have been doing this in an artistic manner. I have tried to, do upcycling and reduce the amount of waste and reuse, the things that we actually consider waste, which is not waste. Apart from that, I've also been trying to adapt to certain sustainable practices at home. So, what all we could do at home at individual level to reduce the amount of pollution and the kind of environmental issues that are happening. So that's where I started the composting practice at home. So since I came to Palakkad, now I'm in Palakkad. So since I came to Palakkad, it's been that there has been a lot of awareness. Currently, if you see, there is a lot of awareness about segregation of waste, why we should segregate it, and all of that. But then still there are issues. There are many places where there is still no segregation of waste happening. So today we are going to talk about why we should do it and how we could do it at home itself. About talking about the plastic menace. There is a lot of problem, right? When we talk about plastic, it's plastic waste, and we talk about it getting into the seas. That is a huge menace, and of course, we cannot do that at home. We can only segregate and give it. And the recycling centers are the ones who have to really help us with it. But when it comes to wet waste, that is also an equally large issue, and that is where composting comes into the place, like why we should do it. So let's start. I would like to make a presentation and talk about this further. Right. So I hope the screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, Madhu.
So, like I call it, the magic of composting. Um, we will learn why it is called a magic by the end of the session. Right. So when we talk about waste, broadly, when we talk about waste, we broadly divide it into wet waste and dry waste. Okay. So when we say wet waste, it is organic waste, that is biodegradable waste. We say it as biodegradable waste, which consists of food waste, vegetable peel, and you have fruit peel, and dry leaves, cooked or uncooked food, dry flowers, eggshells, bones. Okay. And when we talk about dry waste, it is an inorganic waste or non-biodegradable waste, or some of them are non-biodegradable. I mean, of course, like paper can be, so that is a different thing, but it is recyclable. Few of it is recyclable. So you have plastic waste, paper waste, cardboard, Tetra Pak, and these have to be put in separate bins again. We shouldn't mix it up. Okay, as much as possible, we have to segregate, keep paper waste separately, plastic waste separately. You have Tetra Packs, all of these can be recycled. So only if we segregate and give it, it's going to be really helpful. And the other one, I'm sure many of us would have heard, is reject, which we, in our societies also they say it's reject, which comprises of mostly of sanitary waste. Now that is again, they use incinerators to dispose it, but right now there are also many alternatives for this. or sanitary pads. There are many eco-friendly alternatives like cloth pads or menstrual cups. That's a totally different topic. But then there are alternatives which we can adopt if it is convenient to us. Okay, so now let's talk about composting. So when I say wet waste, we said it is biodegradable, right? So then why should we compost it? We can just go and throw it in the open land. It should get, biodegraded, or it should get decomposed on its own. But then we are saying we have to do this process called composting and not throw it in the, landfill, or we shouldn't go and throw it in land just like that. Why shouldn't we? Why can't it be thrown? Because it's biodegradable. The reason is dumping waste is not composting. Okay. When we dump waste on land, there is a lot of problem because it becomes anaerobic. Now, many places you would have seen where there is dumped wet waste, there's a lot of bad smell, right? Now, why is there bad smell? When I do composting at home, I have been practicing for almost 1.5 to 3 years now. Frankly and very honestly, it is not to convince you to start composting that I'm going to say this, but very frankly, I have never experienced any bad odor from my compost bin. Okay, the only kind of fragrance that I have got is like the fresh earth, the man vasne which we say. That is what I have always experienced from fresh compost that gets generated from my compost bin. But when we dump it in the land, we get bad smell. Why? Because it is piled up one on top of the other just like that, and there is no aeration in it. When there is no aeration, a lot of methane gets generated from it, which is a very harmful greenhouse gas. And we know about the climate change problems, global warming problems, and this is a very, very big issue. That is why we have to start composting at home and let the wet waste not go, into the landfills. Okay, so it does not decompose properly because there is no aeration. It needs air to to get decomposed properly. Leads to a lot of unhygienic place. It becomes, place where rats and pests get infested. Okay, and in many places now, when we just like that go and throw it, okay, maybe over a period of time it might also get decomposed. But there are many people who just cover it in plastic. You put wet waste in plastic bags and they are putting it and they are just throwing it. There are animals. This is a photograph I took. Now there are animals attracted to food waste. There is fresh, vegetable peel inside this plastic bag, and this animal, the cow is coming and just eating it along with the plastic. It is very, very difficult to see such things. You cannot do anything. Only thing we can do is to spread awareness in our neighborhood to not do such things, to not have such actions in the neighborhood, right? So this is the reason we must not throw it, and we should never cover it in plastic cover, the organic waste. Okay, so that's why it shouldn't reach the landfills. So, and how is composting useful then? Okay, so then, okay, fine, now we are going to compost it. Then how is it going to be useful? First of all, what is compost? We're talking about compost. What is compost? Compost is a decomposed organic matter. Okay, it is like, all these your food waste, be it even cooked food, a little bit of cooked food, or mainly your kitchen waste, which is vegetable peels, fruit peels. Okay, little bit of even non-vegetarian. You say the crushed eggs, the crushed egg shells, or little bones. It can be added. Okay, but there is a process, the method to follow when we are adding non-veg and all the peels. How it should be done in the right manner. That is where we have to be careful and get it right. Okay. So it is decomposed organic matter. It is a rich organic matter. Okay. And it is actually living soil. Okay. It is a breathable soil that we are going to generate by practicing this method of composting. Okay, and it's a beautiful thing. So, even if we are living in an apartment now, I live in an apartment. I do not have a garden or a huge, a place to go and put the compost that is being generated at home. But that's okay. What I generally do is I gift it to friends who have good garden space, or otherwise also we can just go and put it in a in your park or nearby place where there's a tree. You just go and put it there. It's not going to harm. There's no going to be any foul smell, and it's a beautiful thing that we're going to give it back to the soil. So be it a small apartment or be it a independent house, it can be practiced by all of us. So it makes the soil healthy. Okay, it's a nutrient rich matter that we generate by doing this composting process. Okay, and it can be added to the plants. So if you have indoor plants, you can put it for your plants. It's really very useful thing, and it improves the soil structure. It reduces landfill waste. Very much essential. Reduces landfill waste. Okay, and it actually it retains. Moisture content. So if you put it in the soil, okay, in the ground, it helps in retaining moisture content, which is a very essential thing for plants. Okay, and it reduces greenhouse house gases. Now, when we are doing composting at home, compost does not release methane. That is the kind of composting that I'm going to talk about will not emit methane. What it emits is carbon dioxide, but not on a very large scale of something. So it is, a much better than the methane gas that is getting released when we dump wet waste in landfills. Okay, now there are three types of composting, mainly three types of composting. One is aerobic composting, you have anaerobic composting, and there is vermicomposting. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is aerobic composting. Now, in aerobic composting, what is the main thing required is oxygen or the flow of air. So the entire process takes place only with the flow of oxygen. We are not adding any worms or anything extra like this to it. Okay, it is only with the oxygen, help of oxygen, that this entire process takes. Second thing is anaerobic composting. You must have heard of this method called bokashi, where they have a drum and there's a tap for the leachate or the liquid that is released by these organic waste. Okay, basically I'm talking about food waste. It releases some liquid, and that is released by this tap which they have in this bucket. So that is anaerobic composting. We're not talking about that today. And there is vermicomposting, which is a very popular method by itself, and it is really good. I have heard they induce earthworms and make vermicompost, but we are not talking about vermicomposting as well. We're talking about aerobic composting. So what is aerobic composting? It only uses oxygen, okay? And the compost pile must be turned every 2 to 3 days, okay? Because only with the inflow of air or oxygen, this method will work. If we don't do that and we keep layering it, then there's going to be a problem. Okay, so it must be turned. The compost pile must be turned every 2 to 3 days. We are not adding any worms to it, but for any process to take place, there has to be some, something that is actually doing the job, right? And so here there are some microorganisms which they appear on their own in the pile and they will disappear on their own. Okay, so we are not adding anything from externally, we are not adding any worms to it, but there will be microorganisms which appear on their own and they disappear on their own, and they are the magic doers. Okay, they are the ones which convert this kitchen waste into what we call as black gold or compost. Okay, I hope you're with me. You're able to follow what I'm trying to convey.
Yes, Madhumita.
Yeah.
Yes, we
So
are.
thank you. So now there are the types of compost bins available. So I will tell you what are the types of compost bins. One is terracotta. Now see, I'm showing the kinds of compost bin which occupy very less space in your home. Okay, you can just keep it in a small corner in your balcony, but there has to be a a roof or a shelter, and there must be ventilation. It shouldn't be kept inside a room where there is no ventilation, because ventilation or oxygen flow is the main thing in aerobic composting. So you may keep it in a balcony which is well ventilated with a roof. There must be a roof. Okay, because we don't want the compost pile to become soggy, and soggy compost pile leads to a lot of problems. So we will come to do's and don'ts of composting as well. So first one we will find is this terracotta bin. Terracotta bins are really good because of the material itself, terracotta, which allows the inflow of air. You will see these small dots, right? They are actually small holes, and they allow the air breathing, for the compost to breathe. And you also have an alternative which is actually made in plastic. Now, when I say plastic, immediately we feel, oh, all this while we've been talking about eco-friendly and all, and now we're talking about plastic. Okay. Now, see, there are pros and cons of both. Now, plastic should be used in places where it should be used, not that it starts becoming an replacement for every piece, right? So now here it is useful because it is kind of lightweight, okay? It helps, easily it can be moved. Now, because there are three separate bins, we'll be lifting it, keeping down, putting it back. So this is the kind of bin I am talking about, but there are many types of compost bins that have come in the market. I will give you the resources. You may choose which is suitable for you. Now, the one I'm talking about is stackable ones. So, because when it's plastic, it's easy to move it around, okay, and easy to even keep it clean. So that's why I went for this, and it was not easily available. Actually, terracotta pots are becoming very difficult to find these days because of lack of the resource actually to make these terracotta pots. So, and then you have this daily dump, a compost bin, which is made of plastic. And also you have this one, which is called a bio bin. You get it in Samatha, Namamumi, and also Soil and Health Solutions. I will give the details further. And yes, now before you don't want, okay, you want to feel like, okay, you feel like, first let me give it a try. And if it works out, then I will invest because it is an investment. We are going to buy this for a cost, right? So no, you want to give it a try. Then you can try a DIY compost bin. So how to do a DIY compost bin? If you go YouTube it, there are many videos. Simple way, just take a plastic bucket or a drum. It has to have holes, like I said, because it's aerobic composition, composting. So you have holes around the bucket and also on top of the lid. Lid is a must. Okay, you may take even these paint buckets and give it a try. Old bucket, give it a try, but it must have a lid. Okay, without lid we cannot do it. So you must have a lid, and the holes must be put on the lid and on the bucket. You can use a drilling machine to do it. So you can try it first a DIY and then invest it as well. Okay. So what all we need? So you will need a compost bin. If you want to start composting at home, you need a compost bin. You need the composting medium, dry leaves, kitchen waste, and a spade or gloves for mixing. I will be showing it to you practically how it is done as well. So I'll quickly finish the presentation. So now, is it a very time-consuming process? Now, if I want to do composting at home every day, how much time I have to spend for this? See, per day, we will be spending hardly 1 or 2 minutes to put this. Okay, kitchen waste, and then you're going to put that compost medium. It is an entire processing of layering. What we do is we put first the composting medium, then we put the kitchen waste, again compost medium, again kitchen waste. It's just a completely a layering process, and 2 3 days once we mix it. So it hardly will take 1 or 2 minutes to do it every day. Yes, but once a month you may have to move it around, and the ready compost you will have to take it out. So that time maybe over a weekend we can do that. Okay, but daily it will not take hardly more than just 1 or 2 minutes. So now for composting, to get it right, what we have to do, there has to be the right mix. Now, see, many people I have heard, even I, over a period of time, I have learned the tricks. I have made mistakes in the beginning. It became too soggy. There was a time when it was very dry. So, over a period of time, I've learned how it should be done. Now, it has to have the right mix. So, it must have, the right amount of nitrogen. Now, by nitrogen, they mean your kitchen waste, which is fruit peels, vegetable peels. Okay. And you may also have cooked rice if you, or a cooked food also can be put, but we must not add like, sambar or something to it directly to it. Only then it becomes a, it should never become very, very wet. If it gets wet, the problem will definitely be there. It will start stinking. So you must make sure it is not too wet. So if you want to put leftover sambar or something, remove the moisture or the water from it, and then put it in the bin. And even little bit of cooked rice is left, we may put, but not too much of cooked rice, because too much of cooked rice, of course, we shouldn't waste food first of all. But then by chance it has gotten there's some problem, or it became not usable, cooked rice actually starts fermenting and it leaves water. Now then it will become again soil, so very soggy, the compost. So we must only put little bit, if there is just little bit, as much as possible. Let's not waste food. So that is very important. So let's not do that at all. But if in case, so now, so you must have kitchen waste, then carbon. Now carbon also is very very important. So what is carbon? We have something called cocoa peat. I'm sure many of us have heard of this word cocoa peat, right? So that absorbs moisture. So, like I said in the beginning, kitchen waste, when you leave it on the ground or something, it will leave this, leachate. Leachate is actually a liquid that is generated when it is decomposing. When kitchen waste is decomposing, there will be some amount of liquid that is generated from it. Now, too much of liquid will make the compost pile soggy. So we have to balance it out. For that, we use carbon. Now, carbon can be in the form of this, cocoa peat, or there is something called a remix powder, or it can be the compost itself that is being generated when we are doing that process. When one bin gets ready, that itself can be used for layering. Okay, but along with that generated compost, it's better we add a little bit of cocoa peat, because cocoa peat is much more drier than compost. Like in the beginning I said, compost has this moisture retaining capacity. So that's why we want to add a little bit of this cocoa peat or remix powder to the compost bin. Along with it, we can also add dry leaves. Now, like I said, I live in an apartment. I don't have access to dry leaves. But what I do is I ask my friends, or the helpers, to get me some dry leaves. So I collect it and keep it. Especially in rainy season, we will not get it, right? So if possible, you collect it and keep it. But make sure you're not putting infested dry leaves in the bin, because then the compost is going to get again into some trouble. So make sure the leaves are not infested. So dry leaves can be crushed and put, but I don't have the time to crush it. It's very difficult to actually crush dry leaves. So I put it as it is. So dry leaves, then you have compost medium, and you have cocoa peat or this remix powder. So you have kitchen waste and plus the uh, compost medium or remix powder. Both have to be balanced. Not too much of compost medium, not too much of kitchen waste. Too much of kitchen waste will make it soggy, and too much of compost medium will make it dry. In both the situations, the compost will not come out properly. So there has to be a balance. And of course, the oxygen flow. So the moisture level has to be right. Okay, it should not be soggy. So it has to be just right, and only with practice we learn what is that. So it will come. Let me show you the process soon. And oxygen, like I said, it's aerobic. So 2 to 3 days, once you have to turn the pile. You have to turn the pile so that there is enough aeration. And actually, when we turn it, you actually will feel that heat, because the process is happening. There are the microorganisms are at work, and you will feel that heat when it is being turned. And it's a beautiful, experience. Yes, the composting is happening, and you want to feel, happy. Yes, it is working. Okay, it's a natural process, and yes, it is full of life. Now you will find these microorganisms popping up on their own, and they will disappear on their own. Now, if you're a first timer, it is better not to start in rainy season. But if you're starting in rainy season, be very generous with the carbon or this compost medium or remix powder, because as the atmosphere is already having that moisture, your compost tends to become even more moist. And then there will be many, many more of these microorganisms, or what we call as maggots, appearing. Now, when we hear of the word maggots, oh my God, now I don't want to do this composting. Now, that's the feeling we get. But maggots are very, very essential part of composting. Now, who are they? So let's say hi to these maggots. They are a beautiful creature. Okay, they are the ones who are actually converting this, wet waste into this black gold, into this rich, nutrient-filled soil, living, breathable soil that we are getting. Now we have to learn to befriend them. Okay, uh, if I would say this compost bin is actually thriving with life, and there's an entire life circle that is happening inside this bin. you actually will see an entire life circle happening in it. So you are putting this waste, and then you have these little things that are popping up on their own. They grow, then they are, it's just like a caterpillar's, process. Then it comes into this shell, and one day it breaks out. And sometimes when you're opening the bin, they fly away. That's it, and they hardly live for a week or so. And sometimes I've even seen the entire process of a bird coming or catching it, or it's getting caught in a web. So they see its entire life cycle that is happening. And it is a beautiful process that's happening in a small bin in our home. Can you imagine? We are able to see that entire process happening in our home itself. So we have to learn to befriend them. They are not harmful. Okay, the maggots are not harmful. So if you touch them or something, nothing will happen. Okay, they don't have mouth or anything. They are not going to harm us at all. Now, only thing that we have to be careful is we don't want them to multiply too much. Okay, when they multiply, then we find it difficult to see at the pile. Oh, what is this? We don't want that. So there are many ways of balancing their population in such a way that they are not too much and for us to handle. Okay, but they have to just be like that. Whatever we have put will just remain as it is. So we don't want that, right? We want the black hole. So let them do their work. Let us befriend them. But to control the population, we can take a few steps. Okay. So it manages all kinds of ways. Okay. Now sometimes, especially in rainy season only, I have also seen them, crawling out sometimes. So if you have a land, they say, birds really love them. So you can collect it and give it to them. But let's not let it multiply too much. So I I found a way to how to manage the population when they started multiplying too much. So there have been times when they were not there in the bin, and I felt very bad. Why are they not there? Why there's nothing happening? And there have been times when they were too many, and that was also becoming a concern. So you learn to balance it out. Let's see how we are going to do that. Okay, so it improves the quality of compost. Now when they're leaving their casting, right, that casting is such a rich source of nitrogen, and they actually add to the compost in such a beautiful way. So everything about them is really wonderful. So let's befriend the maggots, okay, in the compost bin. Now, do's of aerobic composting. What are the do's of aerobic composting? There has to be a right balance of browns and greens. Not too much green, not too much brown, just the right. So the layering has to be right. You must not put too little green, that is kitchen waste, and put so much of brown waste over it, or not too much of kitchen waste and very less browns. So you have to know the right proportion. It will come over a period of time. Let's start it. We keep hesitating whether it will work or not. There are many sources and many people out there who are willingly available to help us out in any problem. I am also there. You can contact me if there is any trouble. I can help you out with what we could do to solve it. Okay. Now, do not add too much watery wet substance to it. In case you are adding something, like say for instance, what I generally do is I keep it in an aerated my kitchen waste or vegetable fruit peats in an aerated bin, and then immediately I won't put it in the compost bin. So when I've kept it out for some time, like say by the time we finish cooking and all, it kind of becomes a little dry. Okay, but things like say mango peels or papaya skin, okay, they are quite uh, you know moist. You can't let them dry out and all. Okay, right? It is quite moist. So when you're putting such peels, which are kind of more moist than others, like banana is not that moist, but papaya is, what we should do is at that time you add more of the cocoa peat or this remix powder over it. Okay, be generous at that time because it's very wet. We have to balance it out by adding more of this brown stool. Okay, and turn the pile. You must turn the pile. Now, to control the maggots, there are too many only. Once a week, especially if for the beginners, once a week we can add neem powder and turmeric powder. Only once a week, but please don't add too much to it because the maggots will then totally be gone. So once a week for beginners, we may sprinkle neem powder and turmeric powder so that they are not multiplying in numbers. Okay. and dry leaves can be added. And let's avoid adding too much of lemon and tamarind. At home, we won't be having too much, or maybe one or two is okay, we can add, because it makes it too acidic. Okay, the compost pile becomes acidic and the microorganism may die because of that. So, not like too much of lemon peels. Now, there are so many other things that are happening. You have these. Uh, these liquids, the organic cleansers that they are creating with lemon and all. So even that can be tried. I haven't tried that yet, but we may try that as well. And when we are adding kitchen waste to the compost bin, try to add it in smaller pieces. Now, for instance, there is cauliflower base. Let's not add it as it is. Let's cut it into smaller pieces because it makes the decomposition process faster. Okay, smelly because it is too wet. Okay, it becomes smelly because it is too wet, or there is not enough aeration. So aeration is important. Fruit flies, yes, they may be sometimes. So what some people do is they cover it with newspaper. That is, they put the compost layering, they put a newspaper over it. Next day you want to put again kitchen peel, you remove that newspaper, put your kitchen peel, put the carbon waste, again close it. But I haven't closed it and all with newspaper. Otherwise, also it works fine. Only make sure that the kitchen peel that the waste that we are putting on it, the wet waste that we are putting on it, must be covered completely with the dry leaves and the remix powder or the composting medium. Even if dry leaves you don't have, the compost medium must fully be covered. Otherwise, it will attract fruit fly. Too many maggots, like I said, what we have to do. Too dry, it will again, nothing will happen if it's too dry. Moisture level is required for the microorganisms to thrive and do their job. So sprinkle a little bit of water if it is too dry. Okay, sprinkle it till the moisture level comes to a balance. Where to keep it? You keep it in a balcony where there is no rainwater, coming to it. How long does it take to compost? Minimum of 2 months for one bin to completely get composted. Price of these bins in the market, it's between 1,800 to 2,500, and sometimes to 3,000 if you are using terracotta bins. So it depends from one brand to the other, from one seller to the other. Okay. Where you can get these compost bins. In Kerala, if you're in Kerala, there is this Samatha village. Okay, it's an IRTC product. This green bin which I'm using for past 2.5 years. This is available in Samatha village. Within Kerala also they are selling, and outside Kerala they are willing to post it via India Post. And I took permission of Mr. Joseph to share this number of his. So if you're interested, if somebody, your friends, or if anybody of you also are attending from Kerala or outside Kerala, you may contact and ask him for further details. In Chennai, I found this place called Namabhoomi. Okay, Namabhoomi in Indiranagar Adayar, and the contact person is Arul Priya. I took her permission as well. This is their landline number, and they also having the same kind of bin available. So you may contact them for the getting this bin. I'm talking specifically about this one because I have been using this personally. There are many other kinds of aerobic composting bins as well. If your friends and family are using that and they have a good experience, you may, get their contact as well. I'm just giving from my side whatever information I have. Other resources, there is this organization called Daily Dump, and they're doing a great job. You may check their website. They have all sorts of, they are giving all sorts of solutions. They have learning tools online to understand how to go about with composting. And you may check their Instagram page as well. They are really amazing. They are willing to help. You just message them and ask them. They will help you out. It's not that you have to buy their product to help to get their help. There's other organizations, and also they have many outlets in Chennai where they are selling these terracotta bins and that other brown color stackable bin. Okay, has slightly different way, but it is the same aerobic bin, and many people are using that as well. Then you also have the soil and health solutions in Bangalore, but within Bangalore only they are selling. You may contact them if you have anybody in Bangalore. They are also Daily Dump is also based in Bangalore. And there are some amazing people out there on Instagram only who are always, encouraging and talking about zero waste lifestyle, how we can, adapt a sustainable lifestyle, especially about composting. They are posting about it every day. So you may look into their sites as well on Instagram handle, which is Vasuki Composting. He is also an amazing person. He has been giving a lot of information about composting. Then there's this Worm Rani. She's an urban farmer, an amazing person, and she does both vermicomposting, aerobic composting, urban farming, growing her own vegetables on the terrace. So you can just go and read up about her also, see her everyday posts, and there is Daily Dump, like I said, and it's not a promotion. So also, so whatever we have been talking about so long, we have been saying organic waste. Okay, actually it is an organic resource. So let's not waste this resource. It's a resource which is right there in front of us. We see these garbage piles when we are traveling, and we wonder, oh, such a big issue, how to manage this. It's a very huge community issue. Everybody has to. That is a very big thing. It's very difficult for coming up with such big solutions. There are people doing amazing stuff for that as well, but at independent individual level, whatever we can do, we can at least do that small bit. uh, so our waste is our responsibility, and you can check out my Instagram page as well. It's Rewind Madhubani, and if you have any queries, you may mail me as well. And thanks a lot for this opportunity. Now I will switch to my balcony, and I would like to show you how I have been composting. I hope there is little bit time so I can quickly show you. Yes, and if possible, we can have some questions also you may ask. So I will switch to the other device. Yes, ma'am. Shall I do that? Yeah, I hope all of you have been following me and have not been too fast in what I've tried to convey.
Yes, Madhumita. Well done. So you can show us what.
Yeah, I'll do that. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope there's no echo and all since I'm using another device.
No, Madhumita. No.
Okay, it's raining out here. Okay, it's raining over here. I think it's echoing, right?
No, it's okay. It's not too bad. Yeah.
No, it's not
So we,
echoing.
Okay, now it's okay, right? Now, now it's okay, I think. Right, so this is the compost bin that I have been talking about. And if you want to ask some questions also, we'll do it quickly in the end. I'm audible, right? Sorry, I'm asking again and again. It's
Yes, Madhu. Yes, yes.
since it's raining, I'm not able to hear other things. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how this wet waste, okay, how this wet waste is going to get converted into a beautiful black gold, and how we are going to do that. Now, this is something that I have, finished composting at home, and I have sieved it and kept it ready. Now, let me show you this. Okay, you see this little fellow here? The maggot, he's going to fly out anytime. Okay, great. So see, this is compost that I have created, generated from the wet waste at home, and it has been sieved and kept ready. I have sieved it, so it's really beautifully, it has, come out. Now we are going to learn how we are going to do this. Let him fly out sometime soon. Okay, that's great. Now this is a small space, and I have just kept it in a corner. Since it's raining, I have also collected some dry leaves and kept it ready. Sometime back, I had collected it. Okay. Now the topmost bin of mine is completely full. Now this bin has to be empty. Now I need a new bin, right? Now I need a new bin to start my next cycle of composting.
Now already the 3 bins are full. All the 3 bins are full. How we are using this? Now this bin is my latest bin. This is my recently done bin. Now you need a spade. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll just quickly mix this up. Okay. And you have to nicely mix it. Okay. I'm just trying to show it. You have to nicely mix it like this. Turn the pile nicely. I'm feeling the heat. It's really, the process is happening. Wow. Okay. Now, what we have to do is, now we need a new bin. So for that, what I would do is, I have to shift the bin. 1 minute, please. I'm just fixing it on a stand. Let me see if it's holding it well. Okay. So I will be, so now see how I do it. Lift this bin. See, I'm able to lift it all by myself. It's easy to handle. And this is my second bin. Now the second bin will go to the bottommost. Okay. And the bottommost bin is ready compost now because it has been put like say some few months back, right? So now my second bin will go to the bottom place. This is my second bin, goes to the bottom. The first bin which was there, it will go to the second area. And the last bin, we are going to empty it. We'll empty it and use it on top. Okay. Now, in the process of composting, see how fast it gets filled. It depends on the number of members in the family. So if there are, just 2 to 3, say 3 to 4 members, it will take around, say, a month for the bin to get filled up. If you're going to put too much of dry leaves, then it will occupy too much space. So we will not add too much dry leaves because it will become voluminous. So we will only be using that coco peat thing. Sometimes if the family is large, then the compost bin tends to get filled faster, but it needs its time to get ready. So for that, we have something called a leave-it pot. It was not easily available in Palakkad. So what I did was I went to a terracotta vendor and I asked him for this pot, which he already had, and asked him to drill some holes and give it to me. It is a terracotta bin because I really wanted to have a terracotta pot also for myself. What I would do is, the last bin, which is almost ready, but there will be some undone, compost in it. So what we would do is we will transfer that entire thing to the terracotta, which is a leave-it pot. It will again stay there for a month or so by the time it's matured. So you will have, one more bin for yourself, to fill the compost. Now, especially dry leaves, they take a lot of time to compost. It will not get composted easily. Also, some other things like eggshells and all will take time to compost. So what we will do is we sieve it, and undone stuff like undone dry leaves or undone, these eggshells or anything, we will put it back in the compost bin again. We'll again use it in the layering. And actually, compost bin is thriving with life. I kept saying that, right? We actually sometimes, when we put these mango seed or something else also, you open the bin, sometimes you will see a shoot coming out of it. So you can just take out the shoot and plant it as well. So it's that beautiful, this process. So let me show you. So this is my last bin, which is almost ready. But like you see on top, there is some undone stuff, right? There are undone leaves on it. And so what we'll do is we'll sieve it. Sieving is not essential, okay? Unless you want to put it in your plant, sieving is not essential. If you have an open land or you have a garden, you can even put it as it is, but better to remove larger chunks like this Okay, and then put smaller chunks, okay, for smaller stuff to the soil, mix it with the soil. If you sieve it, then you will have this kind of thing. Okay, and the leave it pot that I was talking about is this. Okay, so I got this made. Now this was my last bin. So now this, if you see, it is much more, drier or much more readier than this one, which is slightly moist still, and it's rainy also, slightly moist. But see, are you able to see like too many maggots crawling or something like that? No, right? It's not like that. So if you get it right, the right way of doing it, then balance, yeah, they're not going to be like crawling around all the time or something. See, I am putting my hand in and showing you, right? So it is a beautiful process. You don't have to worry. What I'm going to do is I am going to empty this bin and show you how layering is done for a new set. Okay, please give me some time. So I'm going to empty it and show it to you. See. So this was around 1.5, 2 months back. And look at this. I don't even know what I put in it. They may be, see, even drumsticks when we eat and we chew it and put, all those things can be put. But I don't even know exactly other things. Say, sometimes I put watermelon peels and all. Where has it gone? I can't see anything. So it is a magic, right? It is magic. We can't remember also. And look at this, such a rich, soil that we have got. We can put it back to the, soil and make it, enrich it further. Okay. Now this seed, I generally sieve it. I like to do it. It's a nice process. Okay, feel good doing about it. So I will show you this one because it is even older compost. Okay, compost should not be dried too much in the sun or something, but it should be dried for like say 2 to 3 hours so that it becomes a little less moist, but moisture should be there. Only then it is going to be a living soil. Now see this. I just kept it and you see how it has. So you just sieve it. See this. And this leftover stuff, we can put it back in our compost bin. So I'll show you that now. So what I will be doing after the session is, now this thing is ready. So I will give it to something like this. And now this part will go into my leave it pot. Okay. Now let me quickly take this out. I'm doing it with my one hand, so please pardon me for this confusion of the video angle. Okay. Okay, so this is the done stuff. You see, you're not seeing so many or anything actually, leafy crawly or anything like that, right? Now you have some stuff, yes, see this. But this guy is doing his job. And then you will also have the castings left. But they are going to go away on their own. They are not crawling too much over here. They're just doing their job, and it's actually not a problem at all. It's not so much that, like vermicomposting. It's not like that. You just get the right. Is the empty bin. Now I will be putting this on top of. Okay, now the sieved compost, okay, we can just add it to the plants like that. You can just add it to the plants. Okay. So you can just add it to your plants and they're going to be so happy. Okay. Now, how do we do the process? Let me come to that quickly. I'm just showing you what I have. This is called as the remix powder, which I got from Daily Dump just to check, especially during rainy season. I find this much helpful to retain, to manage the moisture content. Otherwise, we can use this as well, which is a ready stuff. You just mix this along with this or cocoa peat. So what we have to do is, in the base, we add the browns first. And see, I'm putting this as well. I will be adding some more of this. So to the base, we are adding it. So it should be at least 1 inch of it you must add. So 1 inch of it we have added. Then we get something called a neem powder, right? So let's add some neem powder to it. And there is this something called microbes powder. You will get it in these stores where we are buying all this, composting materials. So microbes powder helps in making the process faster, especially if there's a little bit of non-veg waste. Better add it so that the process is faster. So I'm adding. And I have this wet waste. Okay, I have chopped it up a little, so not big chunks. So you have onion, I have this lemon, fruit peels, there's a little bit of tamarind and other peels. So now one inch you must give it in the bottom. Add neem powder, please add neem powder in the beginning especially. And 1 inch of this coco peat or green mix powder or this compost, add it all. Add dry leaves if you have only, otherwise no problem, but if you can add it. So add dry leaves, crush it if possible, not infested dry leaves please, and then we add this as a layer. Now this we have added. So that layer we added, this layer we have added. Now over this, we will again cover it completely with our compost and remix powder. It should not, wet waste must not be seen. Not in summer. That's it. So you're done. Again, next day you have wet waste, you put it, again layer it, put the wet waste, again layer it with compost and compost medium and this coco peat. Turn it once in 2 to 3 days, add neem powder once a week, and we are done. So that's it. You see, actually it is black gold. It is called black gold, that's right. Okay. So that was the process. I quickly try to show it to you. I hope it was clear. You were able to see the video as much as I was able to show. I'm open to questions if you have any.